On a frigid evening on January 7th, 2024, my life changed in ways I could never have imagined. My name is Matthew Carter, a simple resident of Washington, a devoted husband and father who once led an ordinary life filled with routine, work, and the gentle hum of everyday existence. That night, as rain pounded relentlessly against my car and dark clouds loomed overhead, I set out on what I thought would be a mundane trip home. I had just finished another long day at my 9-to-5 job, and after a brief phone call with my wife, Rachel, instructing me to pick up some milk from the corner store, I began my drive along Interstate 5, unaware that destiny was drawing near. As I navigated the slick, rain-soaked roads at a cautious 35 mph, the steady rhythm of raindrops on my windshield was suddenly shattered by a blinding burst of headlights. In an instant, a large truck, its path erratic and uncontrolled, barreled toward me. There was no time to react. A primal force gripped me, and then everything faded into darkness. In what felt like an eternity yet lasted only a fleeting moment, I found myself floating in a realm where time and space lost all meaning. I was clinically dead for nearly 12 minutes, yet in that void, I experienced a profound clarity and a deep, inexplicable peace. I observed my mangled Honda Civic, the wreckage of that fateful collision, and felt detached from my earthly body. It was then that a shimmering golden tunnel emerged before me, a passage of radiant light that pulsed with an almost sentient energy. Drawn inexorably toward it, I entered the tunnel, leaving behind the pain, noise, and chaos of the mortal world. Within the radiant glow of that passage, I encountered a figure whose presence transcended all earthly understanding. At first, the brilliance obscured his features, but as I drew closer, I recognized him unmistakably. Jesus. His eyes, filled with love and sorrow, met mine in a silent greeting that resonated deep within my soul. His touch was gentle, yet filled with authority, and in that moment, I understood that I was witnessing a revelation far beyond human comprehension. Jesus guided me through a vision that unfolded like a tapestry of both wonder and dread. I was transported to a futuristic city, one that resembled Washington yet carried an eerie, sterile aura. The architecture was sleek and modern, and people moved about in a manner devoid of genuine emotion. I watched as individuals seamlessly interacted with advanced technology, devices implanted beneath their skin that promised convenience, security, and prosperity. At first, these innovations appeared benign, even miraculous, as they facilitated effortless payments, instant identification, and streamlined access to services. But then, as Jesus solemnly explained, the veneer of progress began to crumble, revealing a sinister truth. He warned me of an impending deception that would gradually envelop the world. March 2025 loomed ominously on the horizon, a date marked by the introduction of a global system that would redefine human existence. In his vision, a charismatic leader emerged amid crises of natural disasters, economic collapse, and widespread turmoil. This leader, cloaked in calm assurance, introduced the digital mark, a tiny, glowing implant that promised to unlock a new era of security and unity. Yet, beneath its promise of stability lay a covert plan to enslave humanity, stripping away not only our freedoms but the very essence of our souls. I witnessed scenes of quiet devastation, families torn apart by the allure of convenience, neighbors alienated by the cold, impersonal efficiency of the system, and even religious communities fractured as some embraced the new order, while others resisted with fervent warning. Those who accepted the mark experienced a gradual erosion of their spiritual vitality. Their prayers lost power, and their once vibrant faith became a shadow of its former self. It was not an overt act of tyranny, but a slow, almost imperceptible seduction, a subtle shift in consciousness that left them unaware of what they had sacrificed. In contrast, Jesus revealed a small, steadfast group of believers who had chosen to resist. These individuals, though deprived of the material comforts promised by the new system, retained an inner strength and a luminous connection to God. Their faith burned brightly in the darkness, and miracles unfolded around them. The hungry were fed in abundance, the ailing were healed by divine intervention, and even the fury of nature seemed to spare them. Yet, even as they clung to their faith, they faced persecution. Governments enacted draconian measures to enforce conformity, and those who defied the system were cast aside, left to wander in isolation. The vision grew ever more intense as Jesus revealed the final phase of this grand deception. I saw a massive conference hall where world leaders and prominent figures declared the new system as the ultimate solution to humanity's woes. Their announcement was met with widespread acclaim, yet beneath the veneer of progress lay the insidious control of the human spirit. Ordinary citizens, their expressions vacant and mechanical, accepted the implant as an inevitable step toward a future they scarcely questioned. Some even reported loved ones to secure their own safety, as the mark became both a symbol of progress and a tool of oppression. Amid this unfolding chaos, a final, haunting image emerged, a colossal door of light suspended in the sky. Slowly, inexorably, it began to close, marking the end of an era. Those who hesitated found themselves left in the encroaching darkness, their voices lost amid desperate pleas and shattered hopes. With eyes brimming with both compassion and stern resolve, Jesus spoke a final message. Strengthen your faith, know my voice, and prepare your hearts, for the time of trial is upon you. Though the enemy may hold sway over this transient world, my kingdom is eternal, and those who remain true to me shall inherit everlasting life. Then, as quickly as the vision had come, it dissipated. I awoke in a hospital bed, the steady beeping of monitors a stark reminder of my fragile return from death. The doctors marveled at my survival, but my mind was forever marked by the revelations I had witnessed. I knew that the events foretold for March 2025 were not mere allegory. They were a call to urgent spiritual awakening. I now share this testimony not for fame or validation, but to warn those who remain oblivious to the creeping shadows of deception. The time to prepare is now, for the battle for our souls has already begun. Over the following days, as I struggled to reconcile my miraculous return with the vivid revelations of that transcendent realm, a heavy burden of responsibility weighed upon me. I was haunted by images of a world seduced by its desire for ease and security, where genuine connection and spiritual integrity were sacrificed at the altar of convenience. The golden tunnel, with its radiant call, had unveiled a glimpse of divine truth, a truth transcending the fleeting promises of modern technology. In hushed conversations with those few willing to listen, I recounted my experience with trembling urgency, urging them to question the true cost of blind conformity. I described how the digital implant, initially celebrated as a marvel, would gradually erode the human spirit, numbing our capacity for love, empathy, and discernment. Jesus' sorrowful words echoed in my mind. The enemy's control would not come by force, but by a quiet corruption of our souls, a seduction so subtle that we would scarcely notice the slow decay of our essence. My dreams were haunted by fragmented images, bustling streets where human interaction had been replaced by cold digital transactions, families gathered in silence with eyes fixated on glowing screens, and a massive digital billboard displaying the reassuring smile of the charismatic leader. Beneath that smile, however, lay an agenda of control and subjugation. A future where even the sanctity of the church would be compromised by technology masquerading as divine innovation. The contrast between the world I once knew and the dystopian future revealed in my vision grew starker with each passing moment. Neighbors once engaged in heartfelt dialogue now existed in digital isolation, and even the local church, once a haven of hope, teetered on the brink of losing its spiritual core. Some pastors endorsed these advancements as gifts from God, while others warned of the perilous cost to our eternal souls. As the shadow of March 2025 loomed ever larger, it became clear that the struggle ahead was not merely against a new technological era, but a profound spiritual battle for the very soul of humanity. I found solace in Scripture, returning to the Bible with renewed fervor, seeking guidance and strength in passages that spoke of perseverance and divine protection. In quiet moments of prayer, I resolved to warn others, to share this vision as a clarion call for spiritual vigilance. Now, as I write these words, with hands still trembling from the memory of that otherworldly encounter, I am filled with an urgency that I cannot ignore. The clock is ticking, and the threshold of a transformed world draws near. I implore you to heed this warning. Do not be seduced by the false promises of a technologically engineered paradise. Instead, strengthen your faith, cherish your humanity, and cling to the eternal truth of Jesus' love. For in the end, it is this divine connection that will guide us through the coming storm and secure our place in the everlasting kingdom.